Alright. It is now time again for another God of War discussion. Now, I have made a previous video on the possibilities of God of War 6. Now, you probably haven't seen that video, so it doesn't matter. But this video will mostly relate to God of War's geography. How does it work? How can we get to God of War 6 if we don't know how God of War's geography works? Now, this is probably the most interesting concept in God of War that exists, because how did Kratos jump from Greek mythology to Norse mythology? And you probably already know the answer to this question. You probably just clicked on this video for a refresher, and that's totally fine because we all need a refresher every now and then. But how did Kratos go on a boat from Greek mythology and just landed in Norse mythology? And we all have this question. I mean, some of you know it, but some of you don't. And this might be a refresher, but if you don't know it, stay tuned. Now, we are going to use some inductive reasoning, and we're going to use some deductive reason to determine this. Now, the first thing that we can gather information from is the God of War comic. Now, in the God of War comic, we saw how Kratos went from Greek mythology to Norse mythology, how he took a boat and came over. We also saw he took a trip to Egypt before he got to Norse mythology, and he met some Egyptian gods and all of that, and basically how he came to the life that he had in God of War 2018. And the game also just gives us plenty of freaking clues that Tyr visited other mythologies. I think it's even one where Tyr had visited Greece. Now, yada, we know the existence of other mythologies in God of War already, so it's no point to really go further into that. That was just the basic rundown. But how exactly do you go from one mythology to another, especially by boat? Let's get into that. Now, how does this universe structure work? Now, we already know it's a multiverse because obviously it's different universes, each universe having a different mythology, different set of beliefs, different set of ways the world works. Like God of War with the 9 realms. In Greece, I believe, in Greece there were other worlds. They were like Hades, Tartarus, the regular world, the underworld. So all of these mythologies and worlds pretty much have their own worlds that exist between that specific world. So for example, if you didn't understand what I just said, for Greek has these universe-sized realms within just that Greek section. So in Greek mythology, there's the underworld, there's Tartarus. What other worlds are there in Greek mythology? I guess the world that just humans exist on, which is Earth, I guess. And I already know, like, the mythology experts are just going to get on me in the comments. Guys, this cut me some slack. I don't have as much knowledge on these mythologies as you do, so just cut me some slack in the comments, please. Now, at the end of the day, I'm just a person making a video talking about God of War, so please go easy on me. Yeah, but back into the conversation of the different realms and the mythologies that exist within the universe of God of War. Now, I've already explained. Let's just go through it again. Okay, so there's a mythology. That specific mythology has its own rules and physics of that specific region. So, like I said, Greek has their own sun, has their own earth, has their own universe-sized realms. And when I mean universe-sized realms, just spaces that are basically the size of the universe. So basically picture like our universe, you know, all the galaxies and planets that exist within it. And then picture like heaven or hell. Those are different realms, but they can also be like the size of our universe. So basically that. Now, let's just listen to some dialogue in game so we can better understand this concept.
Brother, I've been meaning to ask. Your homeland. I'd heard the gods there wielded every flavour of power you could imagine. Lightning, fire, the whole lot.
As did I, for many years.
Whoa. Any chance you could recall some of that magic?
No, I have tried.
Magic is bound to the earth. When your homeland died, your powers probably went with it.
Ah, well, probably for the best. Let the past stay in the past and all that.
Now you can see right there that Kratos basically lost his powers from Greece, and if you played the old God of War games, you know he was able to use lightning, tons of other powers you basically got throughout the games. I don't remember, I haven't played any God of War games in like a minute, or at least the old ones. But back to discussion. Alright, so you can see in that conversation, Freya basically stated that magic is bound to the earth. When his homeland died, his powers probably went with it. Now, you probably don't know much about God of War. You probably saying, how does Norse mythology and Greek exist on the same earth? It's technically the same earth, so Kratos would just be able to use his powers because it's on earth, because Midgard is earth, but not necessarily. It's two different earths. But another question you might have is how does two different Earths exist? But in the comics, Kratos was just on one Earth. He basically sailed from here to here, and that was on the same planet. I know, like, the way God of War's geography work, it blows my mind, because I've never seen like a cosmology like this. Maybe I have. It's probably some more cosmologies in fiction that are like way more confusing than this, but the director of God of War, I think, actually had an explanation for this. Let's get into it. Now, God of War's director Cory Barlog actually stated this: the actual God of War Earth's geography is the same as our real Earth's. The only difference between the two is that within each geographical region there exists a version of the universe with its dimensions, and Earth as inspired by the prevalent mythology and local belief system of the people living in that particular region. So you know what I just explained a little earlier, how Midgard and the Greece are two different Earths? Well, it's technically the same Earth. And that's the craziest part. How is it the same Earth, but it's not? And I'm going to basically summarize what I just showed you about the information from Cory Barlog. So, it's on one Earth. To give you an essential, basic rundown of the cosmology of the God of War universe, it's all on one Earth. Every mythology is on one Earth. However, each region of the earth, like picture continents, for example, I guess you could think of countries. Each geographical region, let's say Germany and America, it's like going to Germany and America, but let's say you went from Germany and you went to America. So basically when you get to America, it's an entirely different universe. Everything is different there. The physics are different. Basically the entire way it operates is just completely different from Germany. Now, basically any mythology that you could think of, or all the mythologies that exist in our universe, basically exist in the God of War universe on the same planet. So Midgard and the Greece Earth are two different Earths, but it's on the same Earth because, remember, it's two different universes. And the Earth, this is actually crazy, the Earth in God of War houses universes within it. So the Earth just has the entire capacity to just hold universes on it. Like, come on now, but this is crazy. So what type of space-time model is this? And another thing is the Yggdrasil, or the tree in the Norse mythology. This tree was also stated to have infinite universes with inside the tree. Bro, how big is this universe, bro? I mean, they just throwing universes here, universes there, bro. How big is the God of War universe? Because this universe has to be massive. A tree that can contain infinite universes, I believe. This is crazy. So what type of space-time model is this? So guys, stay with me here. So the Earth that houses all the pantheons and mythologies on it exists within the universe, and then the Earth with the pantheons on it has other universes that is on that Earth. So I'm confused, man. I'm really just mind boggled. Okay, we gonna try to do it again. So it's just one universe which has the Earth that all the pantheons and mythologies exists on, and then that Earth that has all the pantheons and mythologies on it has tons of different universes on that Earth. So what is it, like a universe that basically houses a multiverse within it? Because that's what I'm thinking. It's just one universe where they have the Earth with all the pantheons and the mythologies coexisting on one planet, and then that planet has different universes on that planet. So I'm just saying, I think it's a universe inside a multiverse, like, which is crazy. One universe which houses a multiverse with inside of it. Bro, this is why they have so many possibilities for God of War 6, because of the way this geography this works. So obviously any mythology you could think of, I made a previous video on this. They could do Japanese mythology, Aztec mythology. I mean, the game has blatantly showed us that other mythology exists, with Tyr having weapons from different mythologies. So this is just crazy, man. I've never seen like some things and fictions have like a universe that works like this, a universe that has a multiverse within it, but that multiverse is on Earth, it's on a planet. How does a planet contain universes? I mean, do you know how big our universe is? We don't even know if our universe is infinite, and I've heard about infinitely expanding, which would mean it's still finite, but we only know about the observable universe. We don't even know what's outside the universe, but our universe is big, and we just on the planet floating in the middle of nowhere. Like, this is crazy. Like, will space travel ever be possible? And I also believe that the 9 realms in God of War are also all universal in size. Like, they just all the size of a universe, and then they have their own stars, planets, and galaxies within them. But this could be wrong. If I'm wrong on this, somebody tell me. Yeah, but this concept is just so cool. Like, a universe that houses a multiverse within it, because the universe for God of War, which houses the Earth, because the Earth obviously has to exist on something, and that's the Earth that contains all the mythologies and the realms, basically. So that has to also exist within the universe. We also know that all of the pantheons pretty much have knowledge on each other. We know that Mimir knew Zeus. I'm going to play this video for the people who don't have much knowledge on this series.
Kratos. Zeus.
Zeus?
My father.
Your father was Zeus? Well, that explains a lot.
Now you can see right there that the pantheons actually have knowledge on each other. Bro, imagine in God of War 6 the pantheons just start invading each other. Like, you would just see a set of the Egyptian gods versus these specific gods. Like, I mean it's a lot of possibilities for God of War 6, man. I'm really hyped to see God of War 6. I mean, nothing yet in my current time, but maybe you watching this from the future and God of War 6 is out. The thing is, the pantheons might have a rule to like not interact with each other. It's probably like a forbidden rule for them just to like not interact with each other. But then again, Tyr did visit other mythologies, and he was the Norse god of war, so that's probably not possible. But you would think maybe like some other pantheons would maybe go here and try to invade, take over another region, but you never know. But then again, Tyr did visit other mythologies, so maybe not. But you are probably so confused from that explanation on basically how the entire God of War universe works, because I'm confused too. Because how do you go from like to another country and then that country is an entire different universe? Do you just walk in like a universal barrier, or you just walk in and just magically appear like that? Like, how does it work? Like, do I just step foot in the universe and everything is different? Like, do I go through a barrier or something? Like I'm just confused on that. It's also crazy because like Sun Wukong and Jesus canonically exist within the same universe. Like, imagine Kratos just meets up with like Sun Wukong or like Jesus or something, because if every mythology, like Christianity, well, Christianity is a mythology, I'm sorry, But if every mythology like Aztec, Japanese, Chinese, like Sun Wukong, all of these figures from these mythologies just canonically exist. Another thing about the pantheons and mythologies in God of War is they all have their own rules for basically how they were created. They all have their own beliefs to what created them, but then again they also have knowledge about the other pantheons, and those other pantheons also have rules of basically how their existence was created. Maybe it was created through a great god, or this person did this to create the entirety of the multiverse they've known their entire lives. The question is, who was right? Whose ideology or set of beliefs is actually right? Like, all of them had different beliefs on how their pantheon was created. I mean, maybe it was all created. Maybe all of them just had different creators. That's a possibility. Or maybe all of the pantheons in different mythologies just had one creator in terms of the God of War universe. So do they all just fight? This is basically like religion. We all argue over different type of beliefs, basically like Christianity, Islam, all that. We argue over different beliefs. So it's probably the same with the other pantheons, because they all have their own set of rules and thoughts of how they came into existence. And every pantheon pretty much has different values and different set of beliefs of how they came into existence. And an example I could give, in the Greek mythology, they basically came into existence with the primordials fighting. All the primordials were basically fighting, and they birthed time. They created the entire Greek universe. But in the Norse mythology, it's different. How was that created? In Norse mythology, I believe Ymir gave her body parts or something, and it created the realms. I'm no expert on mythology, so correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I believe that's how the Norse mythology came into existence. So who created it? Who created the universe? Was it the primordials or Ymir? It's two different mythologies, so honestly don't know. See, it's just all different ways that these mythologies came into existence. So who created all of the mythologies then? Now in God of War, I believe Odin, his main ambition was trying to basically find out the existence of this, what was his purpose, and it was like this green slit or something that was like in the freaking air or something, and I guess that was supposed to explain everything, and that was like his main motivation for doing all what he did. Now some theorists believe this is basically like a higher plane of existence. It answers all of our questions on why are we here, why do we exist, what is our purpose. And we also seen like the green little slit or something. It looked similar to Athena when she had the green form, and Athena did explain that she ascended to a higher plane of existence. And some people actually think Athena is the main villain of God of War, like she's behind it all. And if that's true, that would be pretty insane, but it's probably not likely. But we honestly don't know, because where did Athena go after God of War 3? I mean, unless that was actually her in God of War 4 when she showed up when Kratos got the blades, but people say that was an illusion, so I honestly don't know. Questions. But yeah, the green thing, I guess, is just like a higher plane of existence, and if you reach it, basically all the universe's questions are basically answered. Basically the purpose in life, what is the meaning of life, why are we here, yada yada yada. And maybe Kratos will find this out in the next God of War game. He ascends to the higher plane of existence, and maybe he actually could find out the biggest question. Who created all this? Who created all of the different pantheons? Who gave them all these different sets of beliefs and how they were created? Because every pantheon has a different way they were created. In Greek, it's the primordials. In Norse, it's Ymir. So all these questions need to be answered in God of War 6. What if they even bring like the whole higher plane of existence thing back? Because that was like the biggest mystery in God of War 5. Like, what was that? Because we never got to fully explore it, because obviously Odin never reached his goal. He freaking died. The thing is also stuff in the lore, like the little journals and stuff you can read about, like relics and stuff from other mythologies. Alright, so right here you can see a Mayan relic, and it seemed like there were Mayan gods or something from a different mythology. Let's read it. A sculpture from the Southern Empire. Now that is a civilization I would like to visit. If Tyr's writings are to be believed, the Southern gods are said to possess unparalleled wisdom and generosity. Their ruler of the heavens apparently saw fit to gift humanity with advances like writing, farming, the calendar, and sciences. Imagine that, a deity who wishes to share knowledge rather than hoard it. Equally, I wouldn't wish to ever draw the ear of such a pantheon. I've heard their god of death takes great pleasure in torturing expired souls with fire and water. Though I can no longer feel pain, I imagine he'd find a way to make my current situation rather unpleasant. So there you have it. I mean, right here, Mayan gods exist. Tyr has visited them, I guess. So Tyr has visited a lot of pantheons. Man, this is freaking crazy, bro. I gotta read more of this, but this video is getting way too long. So if you have any questions or whatever, or just give me your thoughts on this video and like the pantheons and mythologies and your theories, drop it all in the comments. And if you watched it this long, thank you very much. I very much appreciate it. And until next time.